Hey everyone. All right. Jackie just hopped off. I think she's joining. Here we are. Hi everyone. Thanks for joining. I'm excited. This is our monthly Marketing 101 session. I always find these really cool because it gives us a chance to really dig into just marketing for marketing's sake, right? We talk a lot about website design and funnels and, all sorts of details that live inside marketing. And this is a chance for us to stop, zoom out, and talk about marketing for its own sake. So I appreciate everyone joining today. Jackie, welcome. Nice to see you again. I hope you're not too sick of me yet, but we're here. And you can't.
Never. I love these sessions. I learn so much from you. That's for sure.
Nice. Well, we're here. You can't run away. Tom is here too. Guys, in the comments, let us know where you're watching from. We always love to see these interactions come through because people come in from all around the world and they join us for these sessions. We have Tom from Virginia. I'm in the northeast of the US. Jackie, you're in South Africa. So it's a whole couple continents away, but we're here, and you gotta love technology, right? This is
Yeah,
only
absolutely.
possible with the internet. Anyway, let's dig in. Usually, what happens is people say, "Oh, are we also going to talk about?" Are we going to talk about something other than marketing or other than these foundational elements? We're going to take the conversation exactly where you guys want to take it. If you have any questions or thoughts or comments, or just ask them. Darla, thanks for joining from New Mexico. If you guys recall, a few sessions ago, we had a very lengthy discussion about pricing and how to price and what's a good pricing strategy and what you can do if you're this type of business and that type of business. Think about this as like you go to like a marketing professor and you get to like pick their brain. I guess I'm the marketing professor for no reason other than I found myself here. But I can start a screen share. We can start talking about the foundational elements of marketing, how we should approach business in general, marketing more specifically. What's the difference between branding and advertising? I'm going to talk about this every single time because people, for whatever reason, think branding is marketing or advertising is marketing or just creating a logo is branding. All of that is not true or not exactly accurate. All right, I'm going to start my screen share. Please let me know when you can see, and we can go from there.
Perfect.
Here we go. Here we go. I'm going to hit present. And all right, here we go. We're ready. I'm ready. Show of hands, who's ready?
Good.
Jackie, are you ready?
Yeah, absolutely.
All right. So let's talk about marketing, the basics, right? What marketing means. We're going to talk about communication. We're going to talk about delivering value to customers, difference between advertising and branding and marketing. We're going to talk about the 4 Ps. If you guys don't know, product, place, price, promotion. 4 Ps. This is the cornerstone of all of marketing: product, place, price, promotion. Some people have added the 5th P, which is people. I'm totally okay with it. I like to consider our target audience in everything I do, and that's something that we need to do. First things first: marketing, advertising, and branding. Do we know the difference? Jackie, do you know the difference? Real quick, I'm going to put you on the spot.
Absolutely. Marketing is how you market your business to the people out there, and branding is how you perceive yourself. That is the words that I use.
That's a good way to think about it. Branding is how your business is perceived. Advertising is promoting the business itself through various methods, and marketing is the overall strategy that I'm using to connect with my target audience. All right. So zoomed out all the way, we have marketing, right? Then you ask, where am I going to communicate? All right. Where am I going to promote? What am I going to say? All of that becomes advertising. What am I going to look like? How will people perceive me? Am I professional? Am I friendly? Am I playful? Am I serious? All of that changes, and that's part of branding, right? I think the last thing we want is like a sarcastic funeral home. If that's what if that's your business, your funeral home should be professional, should be serious, right? Because people aren't engaging with you for like a playful thing. It's always like a really difficult conversation, no matter what, right? So we want to be serious, we want to be welcoming, we want to be approachable, but not fun, right? Versus if I sell toys for children, you don't want to be serious and solemn, and you want to be fun, you want to be inviting, you want to be you want to be enthusiastic, you want people to really get that sense of imagination from your brand, right? And all of those considerations go in, right? Now you might say, well, Pierre, I don't have a brand. I'm going to say that's not true, right? Your brand exists whether or not you form it into something that's official, right? Like every one of us has a personality, right? It just happens. It's a personality that we have. Now, could you look inward and say, I have this toxic trait, and maybe this is something that isn't really a great thing for me to behave with or to act like? Yes. So all of that is you looking inward and picking and choosing what you're keeping and what you're getting rid of and what you're changing. So businesses get to do that same thing, right? So if you don't have a brand, think of branding like therapy for your business. You look inward, like who am I? What do I want people to get from me? And all sorts of good stuff like that. All right. Does that make sense? Do we have any questions there? There's a lot of confusion a lot of times about branding and advertising. So I just want to make sure we can pause here for a second. If you guys have any questions, again, this is a live session. You can take advantage of the fact that it's live. Ask me whatever questions you want, and we can go from there, okay? 4 Ps. Do we all know the 4 Ps? They're on the screen. I know. Wait, hold on. Do we all know the 4 Ps before we move on? Product, price, place, promotion. These concepts were put together, I think, in like the 50s, in the 1950s. They're still relevant today. Why are they relevant today? Because these are the cornerstones of marketing, right? When you want to market anything, you need something to market, right? You need this product or a service or an idea or a cause or a collective. Whatever it is that you're promoting, you need that thing that you promote. Price. Are people going to pay money? Are people going to pay time? Are people going to pay with attention? Right? Those are currencies too. People forget about this, but let's just focus on the easy one, which is money. What are people going to pay? How are people going to pay? How do I compare with my competition? Am I profitable? Am I getting paid what I think I'm worth? All of those things come into my pricing strategy. I have a note here that says pricing impacts perception and sales volume greatly. All right. Sometimes if something is too cheap, it hurts our image, right? If you go to a business consulting firm and you have this, 6-figure business that you want to solve this big problem for, and the firm, charges you like, $500 for it, you're gonna think that you're not in the right place, You're going to think, hey, maybe this isn't the right expertise. So if you were more expensive, people would trust you more. That's one idea. All right. Sometimes you're too expensive and people don't think you're worth it. Right. So now you have to communicate that value. So typically, as price increases, demand decreases. All right, typically. Now, there are a lot of cases where, demand goes up if the price goes up. Those are kind of, those are different cases, and vice versa, obviously. But on a general rule, if I'm going to raise my prices, my demand's going to go down, right? Usually. Place. Where am I going to sell this product? Is it online? Is it on Amazon? Is it on Walmart.com? Is it in store at Walmart? Is it on, at country stores across the country? Where am I going to actually put this product for people to buy? All right. That's really important. Effective placement ensures accessibility to target customers. The keyword here is target customers. If I sell, I don't know, hold on. Let's think about an example. Let's say my target audience is all like gluten-free, health and wellness concerned people, right? So all of their life revolves around tracking their macros and making sure that they're eating well and, working, doing their workouts and all of that good stuff. I can't possibly expect that I'm going to make a lot of sales if I'm in the bakery section at Walmart, right? Because my target audience is just not there. So I need to be careful and aware where I'm putting my product, and if I'm putting my product in the right location in front of the right people. All right, does that make sense? Does anyone look for health items at the Walmart bakery section? Because I look for a red velvet cake. That's what I look for there. And if you haven't had the Walmart red velvet cake, highly advised. That's just me. Let's talk about promotion. Promotion is where advertising, direct sales, sampling, all of these different methods of promoting my product come into play, right? I'm talking about how I'm engaging my customers, how I'm driving sales, how I'm driving subscriptions. This is exactly where I need to consider. All right. And then finally, on the modern relevance, the 4 Ps remain and will always, I think, unless something like really crazy happens and people start behaving fully differently than they've ever have. They remain a crucial part of successful marketing strategies. And this is something that we really need to keep in mind. So if you don't know what the 4 Ps are, take a screenshot right now. 4 Ps, product, place, price, promotion. Become familiar with them. This is a foundational piece of information. Okay. Ready to move on? Have I spoken enough about the 4 Ps? All right. Now you say, okay, all of this stuff about 4 Ps is great, Pierre. This is all great, but how do I put it all together in a way that makes people care? And the way that my answer would be, no one cares unless it's a nice story. That's it. We're storytellers by nature. That's human beings across the ages. Since as far back as we remember, we have been telling stories. Since before we had words to write, we were drawing pictures on caves about our hunts and what we did and all of that stuff. We love listening to stories, and more importantly, we love listening to stories that we connect with. All right. So here Seth Godin says, marketing is no longer about the stuff you make, but about the stories you tell. I'll ask you guys a question. What is the actual difference between a top-of-the-line shoe from Puma and a top-of-the-line shoe from Nike? The actual difference is zero. You know what I mean? You'll find the colors here and this material versus that material. All of those are nitpicky. The actual difference that makes you buy a product is whether or not you can identify with the story they're telling. All right. How many times in our life have we heard a story that we don't care about? Thousands, right? There are thousands of stories you don't care about. There is at least one story that connected with you so deeply that you still remember it, right? And that's the case with everyone, right? There's a story that changes how you feel. If you're happy, you're sad, or if you were sad, you become happy. If you were hopeless, you hear the story, now you're hopeful. You know what I mean? If you're in pain, you hear this story, you're comforted. There is a story that connects with everyone, and that's the power of really tapping into this concept. If we're able to tell strong, capable stories that move people, that connect with people, it stops being about marketing. It starts being about a lot more things, a lot bigger things. It starts becoming about psychology, about connection, about belonging, all of those beautiful things. And I want to ask everyone here and everyone who's going to watch this video to push yourself to become a better storyteller. Okay? Now you say, okay, I want to tell a story. How do I do that? My question is, how do you tell a good story if you don't know who you're talking to? Right? Jackie, if I'm talking to you, I'm going to tell you a story that's different than if I'm talking to my father, let's say. Right? It's a completely different target audience, and I need to adapt my storytelling to fit that. Right? Knowing your background helps me tell you the best version of that story, or tell you the same story in the best version of itself, the best way I can, in a way that's going to connect with you. All right. And that's why we create customer personas. Okay. Everyone's quiet in the comments. Leave comments. Let me know if you have any questions. I know I'm super compelling sometimes, but drop your questions. We can take them from there. All right. My ability to tell a story relies on me understanding who I'm talking to. So the first thing I do is create this customer persona and imagine a human being, imagine a person. They have qualities about them. They have things they like. They have things they dislike. They have places they go. They have behavior, right? So what I'm going to do, first step is define who I'm talking to. I do that by identifying who they are, age, location, occupation, all of that's fine. But on a deeper level, how did they grow up? What are their fears? Because we have a lot of common fears, right? What are their hopes? What are their aspirations? Who do they want to become? All of those things are concepts that I need to understand about my target audience. If you're creating a relationship, you listen to the other person, right? You spend the time, you listen to them. Hey, who are you? What did you go through? Tell me about how you grew up. All of that informs how we communicate with each other. And it's the same thing for your customers that come to your business, because your hope is to create a long-term relationship and not just make one sale. Okay? You want to identify the problems that they suffer through. Like for me, I really dislike having to plan out a menu every single week. Like that's something that really bugs me. All right, having every week, here we go, every Wednesday, I'm sitting there, I'm thinking, okay, what am I doing for next week? And then I make a shopping list and all the stuff that goes with it. If a service came in and said, hey, tell me about the food you like, and I'll give you a customized menu every week, and I'll send you a shopping list, I'll pay money for that service, right? So because I've identified a problem, solving that problem becomes valuable to me, right? Especially if in the communication, I'm really sold on this idea. All right. Identifying problems, obviously, we just talked about this. Recognizing issues leads to solutions and drive purchasing decisions. People, I'll give you an example. I was looking at a website the other day that has like a self-cooling pillowcase, you know? I can try to sell self-cooling pillowcases. That's one thing. But what I should be trying to sell is not having to wake up in the middle of the night because of a hot pillow, right? The pillow itself is part of the solution, but the bigger problem is my sleep being interrupted, right? So then if I were to say, hey, people who sleep better perform better at their jobs, their relationships are better, they're just generally nicer people to be around, and you wake up, or like let's say the average American wakes up 3 times a night and they complain about the temperature of their pillow, right? Now you're paying attention. Now you're saying, okay, so what's the solution? Now I can say, okay, we've made this product and it's from, you know, these made of these materials, and you know, this is the problem it solves. So now it's a relevant thing for me. And then finally, buying behavior. This is going to inform the place and promotion that I'm gonna set for my business, if that makes sense. So let's look at an example. If my customer has a tendency to browse online but purchase in store, I'm going to give them all the information online and then tell them to find my store or find me at Walmart, find me at Target near you, whatever that is, and match their buying behavior. All right. A lot of people like the other way around. A lot of people like to go in person and look at items at a store, but then go to the website and buy online. I need to understand that, and I need to match it, right? So I'm not able to define my audience and identify their problems and understand their buying behavior unless I really, truly investigate and do my research and understand who my target audience is. All right. I can't tell you guys how many times I've spoken to business owners and I ask them, who's your target audience? Who are you talking to? And they say the easy answer of, well, everyone who wants to buy. Well, great. You know, what do I do with that? You know, what do I do with that information? So that's what I want people to really focus on. I need to be directive with my messaging. I want to tell people what problems I solve and who I solve them for. Cool. I'm going to move on because I've spent the last 10 minutes talking about this point. Let's talk about channels of digital marketing. Website, social media, email marketing, paid ads. This is the peak, the tip of the iceberg. Okay? I don't want anyone to worry about these without considering that they need to fit as part of a story. Your website is meaningless unless it's part of a story. No one's going to find it if you're not promoting it. And then if the content isn't compelling, no one's going to buy. All right. Your social media needs to be engaging with your audience. Otherwise, people don't find you. Right. So way back when, we had magazines, we had billboards on the side of the road, we had radio ads, we had TV ads. Today, social media is one of, if not the most dominant form of advertising or content that people consume on a day-to-day basis. Okay. I see you in the back of the class. You raise your hand. You say, well, Pierre, do I need social media for every business? The answer is not every business needs social media. If your target audience is not on social media and doesn't use social media, then it's a waste of your time, right? And that's why, again, understanding who your target audience is informs your promotional strategy. Okay? Email marketing nurtures relationships with your leads, and your paid ads maximize your reach and conversions. Now, is paid ads a crucial part of everyone's business? No. Again, do you want to run some paid ads? You might not need to. If your business can scale and scales well, and you get in front of new people with paid ads, go for it. Perfect. But if it doesn't, don't worry about it. Okay? What I want you guys to consider is, am I building a system, a marketing system? And we actually talked about this today, Jackie. In our 9:30 a.m., the Template Tuesday, we created a really cool sales funnel, right? That sends people from social media to a beard care oil product, and we sort of guide people down a step-by-step funnel. Websites are really great in the sense of they take this random customer or this random member of your audience that scrolled past your reel and you got their attention and they clicked through and they gave their contact information. That contact information is now yours, right? A lot of times, if the target audience doesn't engage with something like a website or give you your email or whatever, they're just passersby. They're window shoppers. They come in and out, and that's all fine, but you don't actually get the chance to build a relationship with anyone. A website lets you do that. We actually, in this time here, let me scroll out. We recently launched this great tool. And Jackie, I know you've been talking about it a lot. But this AI website launcher, first of all, if you haven't used the Builderall platform, it's one of, if not the easiest website builder tool that you're going to find. Let me relaunch this page. If you want to change text, so this is a template, but if you want to change your text here, you can change the text. All right, no big deal. If you want to move it around, you move it. If you want to make it, this way, you can. Gone are the days where you need to sit there programming and coding. If you want to change a picture, you right-click, you change the picture. If you don't have a picture and you want to create one through AI, create a picture of a vibrant pub. You just create a picture through AI right inside the platform. What we want to do on Builderall is to create this opportunity where you, in one place, can find everything you need to get started with your business and move the needle, right? We want you to keep moving. So I see this picture, pretty cool. I'm going to select it. Okay. Let's go here, Magic Lab, and apply. Beautiful. Love it. Why not, right? So in 30 seconds, 30 seconds ago, I didn't have a picture. Now I do. So this is all exactly what we need to consider. All right. So if you don't have a website, you can use Builderall. If you don't want the struggle to write all this content, you can go to this AI website builder that we launched and select a template and give it a prompt, and it will populate really good, is it perfect? No, but really, really, really good draft content for your website that gets you started. It's so much easier to edit than it is to create. And we have hundreds and hundreds of templates. And you can select one, you can preview, obviously, and you can select, and it'll change all of this content to fit the business that you describe. And then you're done, right? Then you have a website and it's done. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it more than you need to. Okay. Again, does every business need a website? Not necessarily, but it's highly recommended because it's one thing that you own, that lives online, that is your storefront. You don't have to operate operate it like daily. You don't have to update it more than you need to. And as long as you treat it like a living document, I think you're fine. Okay. Next step. Jackie, have you ever launched a website and forgotten about it and then came back and found that it had made you millions and millions of dollars?
Yes, I've actually have got a good example of, well, I'm not going to say millions and millions of dollars. That's an understatement, I wish. But where I've actually had a few blog posts and a few things, and I've added AdSense. And then when I went back to that months later, this AdSense just blew up. Because the site was found, and all of a sudden making an income from something that you didn't even know about.
So the blog in this case generated the traffic. Had you not had the blog, people would have never found that website, and it would have never made you any revenue from ads, which I think is so cool. Just to put a website out there, have a blog that people can search, and you have that optimization on search engines, and people go to your site and see the ads, and you get paid for it. Wonderful, right? Without that, without that, you would have never found it. All right.
No, never.
Yeah. I have a question here that's a little unrelated. In the future, will you add a search feature to the e-learning course modules? Yes. Yes, I think that is something on the pipeline. I don't know when. I can't give you an exact time, but I know that the course creator is something that we're very, very focused on. I think 28% of all of our customers have a course that they either promote or have created for their own businesses, which I think is so cool that you can create a course right inside the same place that your website's built. To answer your question, absolutely. If you have a website that no one finds, it's not really valuable to you. So we keep talking about social media as a great way for that initial attention, for that top of funnel content or viewer to come through to your website. All right. Now, you need to create engaging content. You need to learn about your target audience. You need to put out content and schedule things in advance and do all the things, right? And you have to do that. That sort of after your website is done and your email marketing system is created and you have your offering, that really becomes the name of the game, is creating better and better and better social media content so that you can fuel that website, right? You can add eyeballs, right, onto that website and see more conversions and do all of that good stuff. Obviously, Builderall isn't a social media channel. Thankfully, I can't possibly imagine how much work that is. But we offer two really great tools that you can use. We have the Social Auto Post app, and that lets you generate posts and schedule them in the future. And you can add media, images, and videos and all of that good stuff right into here and schedule all of your content on Meta, obviously Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and LinkedIn. And you can use all of these as part of your Builderall account. We also have this really cool tool that we're offering for free called the Comments Autoresponder. Jackie, have you ever seen those posts on Instagram that say, if you like this content, comment the word whatever,
yes.
In the comments, and I'll send you a DM.
I love it. I love that.
Yeah, this tool does that automatically, and you can actually create a whole flow. So you can have a questionnaire, you can have a yes or no, you can give people promos, you can have automations, broadcast, you can schedule posts. There's so much here, and it's all for free, and I think that's really cool. Comments autoresponder for Meta goes for free. I think here we need to find the post, but this training account doesn't have any posts. But if you had a post, you can click on it, and it's easy as saying, okay, whenever someone says the word whatever, give them this message with this link. Super easy to set up. We have tons of content about it. But you can easily leverage social media and you can keep everything inside Builderall. I don't know about you. I like being in one place. It lets me kind of be creative and explore all the tools. This is a great tool. So you push out your content, you have your links, you have everything kind of tracked. They come back to your website. You're able to see all of that. On Builderall, you don't need to set up too many things to get all that done. But if you're using other tools, you're certainly able to do that same thing. Now, we established this structure. Someone saw you on social media. They replied with the word whatever on your post. They got the link. They made their way back to your website. They gave you their information. Now what? Right? Now is the big question. Now what? A good way to re-engage them is email marketing. It lets you nurture your relationships. It lets you give out promos, flash deals. People pay attention. Now, you say, is my email marketing essential for every business? I would say it depends. If you're in an email culture, and I'll explain what that is, you want to have email. But if your target audience doesn't care about email, you need to switch to whatever bottom of the funnel channel that they do care about. And I'll give you guys an example for that. WhatsApp. WhatsApp is a great tool. All right. We have a tool that lets you post and schedule things. WhatsApp Central. You can have automations. You can have obviously different numbers, and launch out different pieces of communication to people. The same as emails. Obviously, email is nicer. You land right in their inbox. You can have some graphics, but it really depends on whether or not your audience is gonna respond to it. Some cultures don't care about email. If you're part of that culture, focus on whatever channel they do care about. Some areas in the world, they have Telegram. We added this Telegram tool in our premium package. WhatsApp is a perfect tool. SMS messaging is another equivalent to your email. But if your audience doesn't look at their email, don't worry too much about it. But if they do, definitely go for it. You want some place where you can re-engage your customer. Their phone number, their email, their home address. I'm joking. Don't go visiting your customers unless that's your business model. But as a recommendation, I don't recommend you, but you can use something like a direct mailer to re-engage your existing customers. And that's a really good way to think about your business. You spent all of this time and effort getting people on social media to engage with your website and give you your information. That list becomes a gold mine for you. That list becomes what your business is like founded on, right? So what you want to do is create a really nice, nurturing environment for people to be in, right? We're seeing a lot of communities pop up right now. They serve the same purpose as your email marketing here, right? Where people go in, they engage, you get to talk to them one-on-one. You know for a fact that they're interested because they joined, right? That's the most important thing, is that they joined, all right? That's the keyword. I'm going to say it again. They joined, meaning don't go out there buying cold lists and then sending me messages. Oh, Pierre, I sent my email and no one answered. Of course, no one answered because no one wanted to be on your list to begin with. Okay, so don't go buying lists. Nurture the lists. Give people a good reason to join. Show your expertise. Give them a checklist that they can download. Give them something for free. Have that transaction be valuable for people. All right. Then people will give you their information. Then you can move them back to your website, back down the funnel, and communicate with them more and more. But don't go buying cold lists and expecting them to work. They don't work. Okay. And if they work, they still don't work. If they work, it's like by a fluke. That's never something where you like found a business on. All right. Anyway, let's move on. Paid ads. Think of your social media. You're promoting, you're trying to have people kind of find you, right? Your paid ads give you a chance to say, okay, whatever platform I'm using, here's some money, target these specific people, right? So back to in our previous example, when I speak to some business owners and they say, well, who's your target audience? Well, everyone, no, false, right? Who do I target to? Just everyone? Everyone is going to get my money wasted, right? Understanding who my customer persona is allows me to create compelling advertising and paid ads that people can connect to and will respond to. All right. Now, paid ads and social media are on the same level in the funnel most of the time, right? Where I'm getting attention, I'm getting people to engage with my audience. Sometimes you can have things like retargeting campaigns that let you re-engage and promote to businesses that have interacted with your website. All right, you do that through like Google Analytics, for example, which is a simple code. Actually, I'll mention this on WordPress sites and things like that. You have to go through and put code in your website header, and you might break things, and it might not work, and it gets all scary. On Builderall, what we've done is to help users with that step. Let me hop into any website builder or website on our builder. You go to settings. You go to script. You see here, it says Facebook API, Google Tag Manager, Google Analytics, and Facebook Pixel. Now, if you want a third thing and you want your own custom script, this is where you throw it. But it can't possibly be easier than this for you to add your Google Analytics. You copy the code from there, you throw it in here, you save, and that's it. It's done. All right. Adding a pixel event is also super duper easy. What I want you guys to think about is, am I on a platform that lets me do all these things well? If the answer is yes, stay there. If the answer is no, look into other platforms, okay? Using promo code marketing101 at checkout on any plan gives you the starter pack that we put together, and I'm going to go through the starter pack. It gives you all the starter pack and 30% off every month for 3 months. All right, I want to show you this starter pack here. We have social media templates. These are Canva posts. We have Canva templates, excuse me, one for a static post, one for a reel, and one for your YouTube thumbnail if you're creating videos on YouTube. So we'll give you one example of each for you to replicate, throw in your graphics, change the colors, change the text, but it's a great place for you to start. Link in bio template. Here, let me show you the one we use on Builderall. Here, link in bio. And this is a bridge page from your social media back to your website. You see this a lot, like they say link in bio, link in bio. You go to your link, you go to their bio on Instagram, for example, and you see a page that looks like this, right? So we're giving you this template as part of this starter pack. All you need to do is change some colors around and some links, throw in your picture, donezo. That's it. The page is done. It's a perfect page to bring people to this bridge. It has, all sorts of places. If you sell merch, you can send people to your merch shop. If you have a course, you can send people to the course. If you have some sort of product that you're offering, you can just send people to all the different places that you want them to go. And if they're here, that means they're interested, right? The last thing you want to do is send them to this big old website that's really confusing, that gets them lost, and they end up doing nothing. This way, depending on your social post, people go in and they click on whatever they want to click on, and off they go. It's targeted info, and they can learn more. All right, so you get that link. Comment autoresponder. We have a guide that when you get access to the comment autoresponder, you can see, and a website builder template. Obviously, it's a template for a landing page. We have hundreds of templates, but we have one that's special and specific here. It's really cool that you can explore MailingBoss and Booking Builder templates for you to follow up with people. So in case you don't know, Builderall gives you all of these tools all in one place for one subscription. I think for me, if I were starting a business from scratch, I'd rely on Builderall for as much as I can. Last concept here. Let me take a breather. I've been yapping at you guys for the last 47 minutes. Leave us comments, leave us questions if you have any, and we'll happily answer them. All of the channels don't work out of order, right? They don't work the way they're supposed to when they're used out of order. That's why I was saying you need to follow this concept we're calling the AIDA principle. It's not something we came up with. It's a very known marketing concept. The psychology is that every time any human being wants to make any decision, they follow the AIDA principle, okay? They go through awareness of the problem or of your product, interest in solving the problem, or interest in purchasing your product, right? They express a desire. That means that they've already mentally made that step to move forward. And then finally, you need to give them a place to do that. Like, for example, your website, your Etsy store, Amazon.com, wherever, but some place where it's actionable, where people can make that transaction. Okay? So your paid ads and your social media are your awareness. Your interest and desire is really where your email and your website, your SMS, your WhatsApp, all come into play to nurture and warm up this customer. And then finally, they go take action. They go take action and purchase your customer, all right? Your product or service. Keep this in mind. Screenshot this. Here, I'll get everything out of the way. Screenshot this, because this, in all my years of marketing and all my education on marketing, it literally all boils down to whether or not I'm able to give people the right information at the right step in this funnel. All right. So I'm not going to ask someone to buy right as they're learning about my product. That's weird. You know what I mean? I have to tell them why they should be interested and make them desire my product, and then take action. Now you say, well, Pierre, TikTok Shop is a thing. How does that work? It works exactly this way. You make the customer aware of this product. They're interested in purchasing it because it solves a problem for them. They desire to purchase it, and the button is right there, so they take action and they buy it. The AIDA principle applies to any and all purchases or any and all decisions. Sometimes, if it's something that's really involved, like buying a car, the process is longer, you need more information, but sometimes you can impulse buy something, right? That's why when you go to the grocery store, every grocery store around the world that I've ever been to has items that you can impulse buy. It's right there at checkout. You're beeping out, and or you have the clerk there, they're beeping your products out, and they have gum, they have chocolate, they have breath mints, they have things like that are really low cost, low risk. They don't cost a lot of money. People just buy them, whatever, sure. So cool. That's that. Again, that's the starter pack for you. We have some time for some questions. Jackie, do you have any questions?
Yes, I do have something that I was just thinking about, and I guess because of the time that we are living with AI, I think it's a good question in any ways. What is the place of AI in marketing?
Great. A lot of times that I'm finding now, people are replacing their search engines with AI. Right? So where does that live? Let me actually, I don't know why I took the screen share away. Think about it this way. Where in this process does a customer search for a product or a service or a solution? It's pop quiz time. Where in this process do you think? And guys, in the comments, you can answer too. Is it the awareness stage? Is it interest? Or is it desire? Or is it action? Where in that flow do people go to social media or search engines and or AI? All right, it's the interest or desire phase. I need to make my customer product or problem aware, one of the two, right? If someone has a problem that they don't know about, they don't want to fix it, right? So what I need to do with my communication is to make them aware of the product or the problem it solves. Then what people are going to do, they're going to do one of two things. They're either going to go to my website, they're either going to go to Google, or now they're going to go to AI. And it's going to ask AI, people are going to ask AI, hey, is this a good product? Okay. Or they search and say, if they think to themselves, I need a website, but I don't want to pay for an agency. Is there somewhere I can do it myself? And they go to ask AI, is there somewhere I can go to build a website myself? And then AI populates that answer. So it's really in the middle of this funnel is really where AI is affecting the most, I think. All right, because AI isn't coming out and giving you things unprompted. You still have to prompt. You still have to ask the first question. It doesn't just pop up and say, hey, you know what you need? I've looked at our entire conversation history, and I think you need this supplement that you never asked me for. You know what I mean? It doesn't do that. You have to ask. So it replaces this interest, desire, middle of funnel area. All right. So you just need to optimize for AI to give your website up as a solution. The way you do that is by creating good quality content. You show that you're a subject matter expert. You look at what AI looks for on your site and you do those things, right? And you go from there. All right. So I think AI maybe is like the new SEO, the new search engine optimization, because it's the direct competitors. If I were to list all the channels, the AI really pushes up and tries to replace search engines in their work. All right. So that's a great question. But I'll tell you what, Jackie, I don't know about you, I'm kind of fed up with AI. I'll use the next few minutes to complain.
Yeah, I think I want to feel the same way with regards to that. I won't mention names and search engines that uses AI to do the searching.
Yeah.
But something very strange happened to me, and I actually said it to one of my tribe members because they were worried that their website will never be found anymore because of the way that the search has changed.
Sure.
And the amount of work you need to do to actually now being picked up by the search engines to get to the result at the top. Yeah. And I actually have got a website that I'm getting a lot of traffic, and I didn't know where the traffic was coming from. And I went to take a look on my Google Analytics, and I realized on Google Search Console, my sitemap is there, but Google is not indexing my site. For some reason, they just do not want to index it. And I was wondering, now, where's all this traffic coming from? And when I dig deeper, I found that it was coming from Bing. So the point is that Google is not the only search engine out there anymore.
Yeah.
There is so many different kinds of competition out there, and you mustn't blindly stare just at Google and think this is the only place you can get traffic from, because it's coming from other areas as well. If Google don't like your website for some reason, it doesn't necessarily mean that there's something wrong with your site. You just need to give it time, because it takes time to actually get ranked and all those kind of things. But there is many different kinds of places you can go to. It's Instagram and LinkedIn and TikTok, and the competition is huge.
And I see this a lot, actually. This is a good tangent. If you guys think business, like there's one thing that's going to be like the magic bullet for your business. Like, I'm sorry, but we're all dreaming if that's the case, right? What you need is a collection of different places that people find your product and or your service or your communication. You need to diversify, and you need to get many different channels sending people to that one unified place. I think that's your website. Depending on your product, it could be like a storefront on a third party or whatever that is. If you're running a charity and you have a donation area, do that. It doesn't matter. But wherever you want the person to take action, all of your content needs to point to that place. All right.
Yeah.
And
I mean, if people, I sometimes see also that we know that to be active online and social media and get our links everywhere out there, it's a lot of work. But if you've got some cash around, the quicker way is paid advertising, obviously. But it's not the only method. There's really, if you really want to get out there, even if you spend like 5 minutes a day by writing something that is of value to your audience on your LinkedIn page or your profile or your business page, without asking them to give you money, to put it that way, that is also building a relationship with them, because relationship is key.
Right. So that's that. Perfect. Jackie, thank you so much. Great session today. If you guys have any questions, leave a comment on the video. We'll come back and answer. If you haven't subscribed, make sure to subscribe. Hit the bell so that when we go live, you get notified. Jackie and I go live every Tuesday at 9:30 Eastern, and we do our Template Tuesday sessions. Those are wonderful and have been awesome, and I definitely enjoy them, as I do these monthly sessions. If you guys need anything else, you can find us right here. Jackie, thank you so much for your time.
Right. Thank you so much, Piers. Good to have you here always.
Yeah. See you later.
Great. Thank you, guys. Bye.